A portion of today's video is sponsored by Sheath Underwear. For more information on Sheath, click the link below in the description or wait until the end of this video. I believe there are two chief reasons why Donald Trump is so comfortable absolutely disregarding our Constitution. One is that he feels angry about being constrained by the Constitution of the United States, a document for which he has zero respect. The other that I think is more really the case, more directly, is that the Supreme Court of the United States has granted Donald Trump with like king-like sovereign powers that he will suffer no consequence for any criminality whatsoever, even violating the Constitution of the United States. He's a God king. He can do what he wants. Now I want to remind you what the Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution is relative to the Emoluments Clause. I know it's not a sexy topic, but it is important. Maybe more important than any other right now is Donald Trump's naked corruption. Open, public bribery and corruption. And let me tell you, just because it's public doesn't mean it's not bribery and corruption. Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution, no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and then most importantly here, and no person holding any office of public or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, we're going to hone in on that in this story, without the consent of Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Again, public bribery and public corruption is still bribery and corruption. This story is remarkable for those reasons. This is from ABC News. Get a load of this headline. Trump administration poised to accept palace in the sky as a gift for Trump from Qatar. Sources. The luxury jumbo jet is to be used as Air Force One, sources told ABC News. You see, it's not just going to be in the ownership or under the custodianship of the United States, because as soon as Donald Trump leaves office, the agreement is he takes the plane as a personal asset. A gift from the Qatari government worth $400 million. Tell me again, MAGA chuds, Donald Trump gives up his salary every year. He's not profiting. He's sacrificing. His family's giving up billions. You know that's how you sound, right? When you justify every wildly corrupt, nakedly, oppressively corrupt move that Donald Trump makes. In what may be the most valuable gift ever extended to the United States, it's to Donald Trump. Quit saying it's a gift to the United States, ABC. That is an absolute failure of journalism, corporate media. What might be the most valuable gift ever extended to a president of the United States from a foreign government, the Trump administration is preparing to accept a super luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet from the royal family of Qatar. What's the Emoluments Clause read specifically about gifts from kings and sovereigns of that nature? Very strange. Unless, by the way, remember, unless without the consent of Congress, which we might see since we have a Republican Congress. A gift that is to be available for use by President Donald Trump as the new Air Force One until shortly before he leaves office, at which time ownership of the plane will be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation, sources familiar with the proposed arrangement told ABC News. The gift is expected to be announced next week when Trump visits Qatar on the first foreign trip of his second term, according to sources familiar with the plans. Trump toured the plane, which is so opulently configured, it is known as a, quote, flying palace, while it was parked at the West Palm Beach International Airport in February. So this is a plan that's been hatched and underway for quite a while. The highly unusual, unprecedented arrangement is sure to raise questions about whether it is legal for the Trump administration and ultimately the Trump Presidential Library Foundation to accept such a valuable gift from a foreign power. Is it sure to raise questions, ABC, about whether it's legal? The questions have been answered. They've been answered since the 1700s when the Constitution of the United States was written, debated, and ratified. There's no question around this. It's clear. Anticipating those questions, sources told ABC News that lawyers for the White House counsel's office and Department of Justice drafted an analysis for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, concluding that it is legal for the Department of Defense to accept the aircraft as a gift and later turn it over to Trump Library, and that it does not violate any laws against bribery or the Constitution's prohibition, the Emoluments Clause, of any U.S. government official accepting gifts from any king, prince, or foreign state. So ABC News is just operating now as a conduit for Donald Trump's lies and propaganda. You cannot trust your government right now. The United States government run by Donald Trump cannot be trusted. Their word is meaningless, valueless. Sources told ABC News that Attorney General Pam Bondi and Trump's top White House lawyer, David Warrington, concluded that it would be legally permissible for the donation of the aircraft to be conditioned on transferring its ownership to Trump's presidential library before the end of his term, according to sources familiar with their determination. Yeah, so let me get this straight. Donald Trump's attorney general, who is an ass-licking lackey, an absolute lapdog, a bootlicker, she says it's legal? Donald Trump's hand-picked lawyer in the White House, he also says it's legal? Whoa, ABC, it must be legal. These people said so. And this isn't even to discuss the wild security implications of accepting Air Force One for a president of the United States from a foreign power that we haven't had our hands on the entire time, that we did not manufacture to our specifications. You're just asking for a problem here, all in service to enrichment of Donald Trump. That's what's most important here, right? The White House and DOJ didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. A spokesperson for Qatari embassy also did not respond to ABC's inquiries. Let me finish with this, again, on how much this thing is worth. According to aviation industry experts, the estimated value of the aircraft Trump will inherit, he will inherit it, and it will be a gift to him, is about $400 million, and that's without the additional communication security equipment the Air Force will need to add to properly secure and outfit the plane in order for it to transfer safely the commander-in-chief. Public, naked, open, bribery and corruption. Crickets from the peanut gallery in the Republican Party, nothing said there. These people who claim they love and revere the Constitution, all these people have sworn an oath to the Constitution, up to and including Donald Trump. They don't give a shit about that. Their word is meaningless. Their oaths are meaningless. Their vows are meaningless. They have no ideology. The only thing that is important to them is worshipfulness to the dear leader, allowing him to run roughshod over our Constitution, over their oaths and their vows. Naked corruption is still corruption. Violating the Emoluments Clause publicly in the face of everyone is still violating the Constitution of the United States. What do you think about this? I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'll see you next time. I appreciate you very much. Be genuine. Take care of one another. All right. Now that we've talked about all of that, I want to talk about something that's genuinely improved my daily comfort. You know how I'm always saying we should follow the evidence? Well, I've been wearing sheath apparel now for well over 2 years, and I have to say the evidence isn't just convincing, it's transformative. Let's face it. I hate buying underwear, and I'm sure you do too. Everybody hates buying underwear. With sheath, you can stop dreading that purchase because you'll have quality, durable apparel that lasts. Once you experience the sheath difference, you'll wonder how you ever wore anything else. What makes sheath different? That's the question. They're the original creators of pouch underwear technology. Now, I'm not going to get overly detailed here. It makes me a little uncomfortable, but it's essentially providing proper anatomical support that traditional underwear simply doesn't offer. Plus, Sheath donates a portion of every single sale to men's mental health initiatives, something I think many of us can appreciate the importance of. And it makes a noticeable difference whether you're sitting at a desk analyzing political developments for hours or just going about your day. And Sheath isn't just for men. They've developed an impressive line for women too, using the same principles of thoughtful design and premium materials. What I particularly appreciate about Sheath is their commitment to quality. These aren't disposable basics. They're using high performance fabrics that last, and their ethical manufacturing practices align with values that many of us in this community share. If you're ready to upgrade your underwear drawer with something that's actually engineered for comfort, head to sheath.com and use code Dollemore for 20% off your first order. My team and I have switched to Sheath, and honestly, it's one of those small changes that makes a surprising difference in your day.